What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the 20th edition of Deep Third. My name is Drell, aka Breeze, aka Sir Fresh, coming to you as one part of the Deep Third. We're just happy to be in front of you. I say it every week. What an honor it is just to uh, be able to do what we do, talk sports, enjoy the conversation with the fellas. So I'm just excited to get this thing going. Please hit that like, subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified when we do go live, which is going to be just about every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Dante, go ahead and take that thing away.
Man, you know what it is. It's DP, the banger. Yes, I said it, the banger, because Jarrell was calling me out my name the other week. But yeah, man, we back. Appreciate y'all getting on here. Appreciate y'all subscribing. Appreciate you guys watching the videos, man. And I'm gonna throw that thing to Sneaky Bear.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fave here. Thank you all for checking out this 20th episode of the. Oh my gosh, I almost called it my podcast.
Working too
Can't do
much.
that, sir. Can't do that.
Thank you guys for checking out the Deep Third Sports Podcast. My brain is wired for another podcast. But anyway, we got some exciting stuff for you guys. We're going to be talking about our NBA top five players right now. We're going to talk about Philly's decision. Jalen Hurts got a dub today. So we're going to be talking about that. And then also, we got our deep thought segment where we take your guys' questions, comments, feedback, and anything like that. We take that, whatever you guys got, we will give you our deep thought on it. And also today, we're going to be introducing a new segment to you guys, and it's called Fresh Point. And what it is Mr. Sir Fresh is going to give you his hot take, his thoughts on what's going on in the world today. So, Mr. Sir Fresh, what is the Fresh Point? Let us hear
Man, listen. Y'all already know that I'm known to be going in on
it.
somebody at some point, whether it's Dante soft as cottonelle tissue or some other body. I'm just saying. So today, I got to talk about Auburn University. Auburn. So Auburn fired their coach, Gus Malzahn, today, right? And at first I just was like, okay, it's another firing. And then I kind of was like, but I didn't think that they had a bad year. And then I go back, and they were 6-4 this year in a pandemic year. And then I look and I say, okay, well, over his career, he was 68-34. That's above 500, well above 500. Um, and then I got to the point of money. They owe him $21.7 million left on his contract. Now
Mm.
I get it if you're under 500. I get it playing in the SEC, bruh. You're not Alabama. LSU had a fluke year, and look at where they at. Georgia has been hovering around, and look at where they at. Be happy, Auburn, that you had somebody. Now, in this pandemic year that we're talking about, let me let me preach to you real quick. We talking about all these programs talking about losing all this money, and you owe Gus Malzahn 21.7 million. Hold on. It gets worse. They have to pay him 50% of that within the next 30 days.
Oh yeah, that's what kind of contract
You
I need.
talking about we ain't got no money?
Wait a minute.
We
What?
hurting?
Yeah,
So he gonna get 10 and a half, 11
50
mil.
per
Cub.
in 30
So,
in the
days.
next 30 days.
boy, call me in
Now,
your office,
on
Drill. Say
top
you
of
finna
that,
fire me. I'm gonna be like, where my box is at? I'm gone.
listen, I'm gone. And at the end of the day, they still got to bring in another coach
And pay
and
him.
pay him. So we sitting here talking about we in a pandemic year. Everybody talking about they losing money, jobs getting cut. I guarantee I didn't go to look at it, and I probably should have, but I guarantee that there was some teachers or some adjuncts that didn't get brought back because Auburn trying to save some money, and you let him go at 6-4. That's above 500. I get it. You want to be a little bit better than that. He won you a national championship in his first year. So I'm sitting back like, hold on, guys. You couldn't hold on to this man for at least another year? At least so that money don't. You ain't winning the national championship next year. Alabama ain't going nowhere. Now, if Nick Saban left, I got you. Go hire you another coach. Nick Saban ain't gone. You ain't winning the SEC. It ain't gonna happen.
They
So
beat
for my
Alabama
take,
before.
they, they beat Alabama before, but they're not beating Alabama for the. Have you seen the playoffs since it's started? Alabama's been there every single year. You're not getting it. And if you got hopes, you tell me a coach that is better than what Gus Malzahn has done. So, from what I understand, they got Tom Allen as a candidate from Indiana. Listen, great passion, tries to get his guys to play. You ain't coming to the SEC and think you're going to do that rah, rah, rah. Mm-mm. They say X's and O's or them Joes, and you need them Joes. Then they got Hugh Freeze, that was at Liberty. They got Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin better not jump. He better not jump. They got a Louisiana. No, we're talking about just old Louisiana. Alabama's offensive coordinator, the fired Dan Quinn from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the one I will say, but I don't think that he's going to do it, is the defensive coordinator from Clemson, Brett Venables. Now, if they get him, maybe. At the end of the day, them other coaches ain't Saban. And they're not going to be as good as Saban, and they're not going to be able to hack it in the SEC. Kirby Smart going to outcoach him. Nick Saban's going to outcoach him. And at the end of the day, it just ain't gonna happen.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's why you play the game, man. Because we can say if, woulda, who, can, da da da. Hey, man, that's why we play the game. Go ahead and ask Jim Harbaugh what's going on.
Hey, go ask Texas, who just had to confirm that they were going to bring back their head coach after they let go of. Do we know who was there before Tom Herman?
Yeah, it was what was that dude named? The black dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Charlie
is
Strong.
Texas any better? Has Texas been any better? Absolutely not. Still hovering around garbage. So if I'm going to hire hot garbage, I might as well keep the hot garbage I got and at least spend my money wisely. You sitting in a pandemic year, about to pay this man $10 million in the next 30 days because you want to get rid of him because he was above 500. Come on, man.
Jarrell, do you honestly believe that Auburn is hurting for money?
I don't believe any of these programs are. But
No,
at the end of the day,
unless you like
y'all
Michigan.
y'all don't come out. Y'all don't come out talking about, hey, this is hurting. This is our school's gonna lose X amount of money. Da 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 da. Do you know what $21 million can buy you? Come on, man.
At the end of the day, they're not losing money. They're not looking at it as now. If you are Tennessee State, you are Florida Atlantic. Yeah, you probably like, okay, yeah, we got to conserve some money. It's Auburn. They not concerned about that. They got money. They got the boosters to back them up and the alumni. So they ain't worried about it. They just like, hey, we need a fresh start. Let's get this guy out of here. But I feel you though. That's gonna be tough.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage. But let's get
Dang,
into it. Let's get
man.
into it, fellas. Let's get
$10
into it.
million over Fire Me.
Yes.
Fire,
In
wait,
30
I'll be
days,
like,
I saw
wait,
Let
that.
my
me
contract
go.
say I get 10 mil? I'd be like, I had boxes in my truck the whole time.
Hey,
Ain't that right?
Faye, I'm not even moving in if I'm a coach. I'm not even moving in. Listen, I got mobile boxes, so the second you say I'm gone, as long as I get my money, I'm good. They be like, Coach, why your office so bare? Hey, listen, that's just how it is. I
That's
like to get to work. And then they fire me. Oh, boxes was already in the car, ready to go. Where my money?
Jeez.
that.
Um, yes, before we get into it, let's still go back to the SEC. So, um, shout out to the Gators. So, for you guys that don't watch college football, my boy Big Sneaky Barrel, he loves some Gators.
I love him too,
And
bro.
these guys had a chance to probably make it to the playoffs, or at least
Yep.
have a shot if they, made to the SEC championship, which they probably would have. Um, they were down to the wire against LSU. One of the defensive backs, I believe it was number 33, I think
Hey,
it was,
no,
or
no, you ain't
11.
gotta give out the number.
Oh, okay, my fault, my fault.
It don't matter who he is.
Oh, okay, you right, because the whole team got it. So the dude made the tackle and he threw the LSU receivers cleat as far as he could, because they strong in that weight room in at Florida. So he probably threw it 50 yards and he cost them the game. And so shout out to Florida on that. But any comments, Fade?
The disrespect. No, you just disrespectful. We ain't gotta talk about that. Just the disrespect. What Florida State at? Why ain't you talking about them? Oh, cause ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Hey, that's okay. Y'all in the same boat as us. Y'all ain't going nowhere. And y'all in the same boat as Miami. So look at that. Isn't that ironic? At the bottom, in the middle, and then around the corner. That's crazy. But
Hey, it's
anyway,
all
all right.
good.
So let's get into it. So our question today is the NBA came out with everybody knows the NBA just started this week or whatever, and so they kind of came out. Excuse me, they came out with their top 10 players for this year, and so I'm just gonna go through the list of players, and then we're gonna basically go off of, and then we're just gonna talk about who our top five is, and change it around a little bit if maybe I don't know. So at number 10, they got Jokic. At number 9, James Harden. At number 8, Steph Curry. Number 7, Damian Lillard. At number 6, KD. At 5, Kawhi. At number 4, Lukic. At number 3, Greek the Freak. Number 2, Anthony Davis. And then at number 1, LeBron. So, what do y'all guys think of that? The top 10? Do you feel like they left somebody out? And then, what is your top five?
Man, it's 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 hard going through that list and I mean the NBA is tough. The NBA is tough. I think they got a couple people wrong as far as 1 to 5. I mean Dame is a dog, and just his swagger, the way that he played the game, the way he affects the game. I think it's almost Curry like, but I think he's a little bit bigger. He got a little bit more grit to him, which I really like. I think Luca got shot up there because of last year, but in my opinion, I'm not going to say that Luca was better than Dame. And to say Luca is higher than KD, that's a problem. So my top five, I got LeBron James as numero uno. Uh, number two, I got KD.
Mm.
I got KD. Number three, I got Anthony Davis. Number four, I got Dame. Number 5, James Harden. That's my top 5. And I'm
Okay.
not. I'm looking at it from a perspective of the guys who got the most talent. I'm not just strictly saying you got to score X amount of points. We already talk about LeBron. When you see what LeBron does for a team, I mean, it instantly elevates a team instantly. Um, Davis, he's been consistent over his career, but I think last year you got a chance to see what he can do when he's got a guy that puts him in the proper positions and what he can do on his own. And he's not afraid of the moment. And that's what I wanted to see out of him to elevate him. Um, when I look at KD, listen, until KD comes back and KD ain't the same, KD is 1B to LeBron's 1A. Uh, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'd take him over LeBron because I never would. But you're 7 foot tall, can handle the ball, can pass the ball, can shoot the ball, can rebound the ball, and has the ability. When when he guarded LeBron, when he was on Golden State, that was when I saw him play defense. But he has the ability to play defense. Um, Leonard, to me, why he's not up there, I don't like him. I don't like his game. Um, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't elevated anybody. You can say, yeah, he won the championship with the Raptors. He didn't elevate the Raptors. The Raptors elevated him, and he's not a leader. Uh, and then again, I go into Dame. Dame's just a dog, man. Just everything about his being is just top notch. And then Harden, you can't name me probably in NBA history a better scorer. Is his
What?
defense garbage? There's nobody that can guard James Harden. Nobody that can guard James Harden. Nobody that can guard James
So
Harden.
so you said LeBron can't guard.
LeBron, or no, if LeBron played him defense all game long, I'd probably say 25, 30 points. LeBron doesn't offensively have many numbers because I mean, he's so shifty. That step back that he has makes you look stupid. That hesitation that he has, um, just being able to, he's a lefty. So, I mean, the shot goes in, it looks great. Um, it's almost like the Tua Tagovailoa when he was playing today, and they're like, just the ball coming out of a, it's just different. But nonetheless, I mean, he's unguardable. He's un. If he's off, he's off. For the most part, he's going to get his 30. But for what he does on the offensive end and being that type of weapon, he could win the NBA scoring championship every single year if he wanted to. And you see him, it didn't matter who you put on his team, he still put up numbers. He still put up numbers. Chris Paul was on his team, put up numbers. Before Chris Paul, put up numbers. Westbrook's on his team, put up numbers. It doesn't matter who you put around him. When he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who was the one getting the ball at the end of the game? James Harden, because that's what he does. So that's mine. Fabe, I throw it to you.
So for me, real quick, my 1-2 kind of the same as like the NBA list with LeBron, AD, of course. Um, 3, I got KD. Like you, he's a 7 foot monster. I know he ain't play or whatever, but he is that dude. And 4 and 5, man, I had trouble with of trying to determine who to put here. And to your point, like with Dame, I like kind of that respect of where you're putting Dame's game. I put Jimmy Butler at 4.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah, I really, really respect Jimmy Butler's just game and the season he had and the playoffs he had, like, they was a small fish, but he was showing up. He didn't care that they was looked at as underdogs and whatever. Like, this man showed up in every game in every way that he could to try to get his team there. And so to me, you can't doubt his effort and his tenacity. I just love his just fight. Like, this man, it's like, some people where it's like, okay, you made it, you got it, you can breathe, this and that, but he's like, I'm fighting. I'm still fighting. Like, I'm this unknown guy that nobody respects. He still has that same fight, and I absolutely love it because you can't coach that type of fight, that kind of want to. So to see somebody with that, I respect that. So that's why I got Jimmy Butler at 4. At 5, I was about to put Kawhi, but like you, he isn't. He's not a leader, and that is huge. Like, you're supposed to be this great player, got all these talents, but man, your leadership skills are horrible. So I guess it goes to show, like, just because you're a great player, maybe us as a society, or I don't know if the team, you can't expect people to be leaders, because I think everybody expected Kawhi to be a leader of the team and get them to the promised land, and that's just not him. Like you said, he was a compliment to the Raptors. He was a compliment to the Spurs. The Spurs already had greatness. They had great leaders, some of the best leaders probably that'll ever be in the NBA. So Kawhi didn't have to lead. He didn't have to show that side of himself because you had Tim Duncan, the greatest. So he didn't have to show that. Now he has to show it. So everybody's seeing him for what he is. Not that it's a bad thing. I just think he saw for what he is, which is just a great player that can't lead. So now, like, if you
He
put Kawhi with a LeBron, that would be unfair. What was you about to say?
and and to Fave, to that point, I think LeBron had to leave Cleveland and go down to Miami to learn how to be a
Yes.
leader, because Jordan would not have learned how to be a leader had Phil Jackson not come. Phil Jackson helped Michael Jordan become a leader, because before that, Michael Jordan was a scoring champion, an outright monster, but he was not a leader.
Mm.
When you hear of those stories of Jordan and what he did in practice, that was later in his career. Later, when he learned how to be a leader. And like, hey, yo, I'm going to do what I do, but I'm going to show up on the court and you about to see what's going to happen. Because I'm not going to talk and tell you something that I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
That is that is what you need. And that's where I feel like some of the guys that and say, hey, you're a top 5, you're a top 10, you're this and that. I haven't seen that leadership. I haven't seen it from Jokic. I know he's top 10, and we're not talking about him top 5. I I haven't seen that. Luca, I haven't seen that. I've seen him put a team on his back, but I haven't seen him galvanize. And everybody who plays with Dame respects Dame.
Yeah.
Everybody who plays with Curry sees the tireless work that this dude puts in. It's crazy. Harden, same thing. It's just bananas what some of these guys do. And then you got a guy like Leonard that's just like kind of nonchalant, like, I'm gonna do mine and hopefully y'all come
Yeah.
around
Hopefully.
me.
Yep. Yeah.
Like Dante, I know we talked about last week, with Doc Rivers. And it's like, if that's LeBron, you're gonna kill LeBron. Kill LeBron. If LeBron's sitting there and he know that his partner in PG-13 going through a rough time in the bubble, and you not trying to help,
That.
you not trying to
Yes.
do anything, hey, that's not my role. That's the coach's role. He need to get him right. Bruh, are you trying to win a championship? You got to get people on your level. And that's why a lot of people may not like to play with LeBron, when they get held accountable.
Exactly. Because
You
he
get
the
held
coach.
accountable, it sucks.
LeBron is the coach, the GM, the owner, the person at the concession stand. LeBron
He
is
want it
everything.
all.
You want
Brandon
cheese on your
Stockton
nachos?
raw. My
Warren
man want it
G.
Oh, I
all.
didn't say my fifth player was James Harden. I just realized I didn't say it. So
Okay.
it was James Harden instead of I was leaning Kawhi, but went James Harden.
I like it. Come
Okay.
on, Dante. Bring it.
Well, so problems
Dante
with,
about to,
huh?
I say you about to go crazy. Go ahead.
I am about to go a little nuts. Nah, but looking at the top 10 or whatever, I felt like there were some people that should have been in there, um, but looking at it, man, unfortunately, I'm just gonna keep it 100. There, the list that they have, I have a little bit issues with it, but when you look at it, it's LeBron, and then it's a bunch of everybody else on the list is people that can't get it done. They don't have the fortitude. They can't win. You know, they shrink in big moments, and that's basically the list that you have. And then you have LeBron. So LeBron, he's the best, bro. Like I mean, there's nothing else you can say. Um, my top five though is I have LeBron. I have Anthony Davis. I have him too because I think that he is definitely probably right now because KD hasn't played in a year, so we don't know what he's going to look like. And I'm looking at everybody else's team. Can you take LeBron off the Lakers, and would he still be able to dominate? Absolutely. Um, so I that's why I have him there. Number three, I have KD. KD's a beast. If he was not hurt, he'd probably be two on my list. But KD's a beast. Uh, then number four, you guys are gonna laugh at this. I got Leonard, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I have him at number four because we're talking about the top five players in the league, and so basketball is a team sport. However, he is top five talent, top three talent. However, he just can't get it done. Um, he's phenomenal on defense. He stepped his offense up. The dude's a baller. He just has some issues that he needs to work on as far as his personality. But that's why I have him there. And then five, Steph Curry. So I got Steph at five because out of all of those people other than LeBron, he if you look at him and his game, he has led his teams to championship. I know the one year, they won, he was hurt and he didn't play as well, but for the most part, Steph Curry can put a team on his back and he can do damage. Um, his defense is not the best, but when he does lock in, he can make it happen. Far as like when you guys talking about Damon, like his him just being a baller and his offensive game and James Harden, same thing when it comes to Steph, man. Like Steph will pull up and he been doing it way before James. He'll pull up at half court and drop it on you. And the dude's just a beast. The only thing that kind of sucks is he's just on the smaller side. I think if he was maybe like his brother, like 6'2", I actually no, I'm sorry, he's 6'3", but he's just skinny. If he get in the gym and he get some weight on him, I think he'll be dangerous because he on the offense side of the ball, he's a beast.
I
Passing,
yeah.
dishing, shooting, everything.
I can definitely see and give you Steph because Steph I will say was a trend setter with the three. Coming
Yeah.
out shooting the three ball way before a lot of other people was. He made it popular to do. So
So
I can
yeah.
give
So
you that.
I want to say what's really funny is none of us mentioned Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the reason I did not have him in mind is his game is not complete yet. It is some crazy talent that he has, and he has the ability to dominate. But where LeBron had to get better at being more consistent with his 3 point shot, Giannis isn't there yet. So I cannot put Giannis there because I don't believe that, and we've seen it in the playoffs the last 2 years. That's why they've gotten knocked out. Giannis, you can't be Giannis in the playoffs, then that's a problem. And it turns into a half court game. The game is slowed down, and possessions mean more. It's different than the regular season of running up and down the court and you doing your spin moves and all that. It's scheming. The
Mm-hmm.
team for 7 games possibly learning your game, and can you evolve to the point that you can still score, you can still impose your will. So I think that's why I did not have him inside of my top five. Is he a talent? Yeah. But can he do it? No. And Dante, just to answer your part with Dame, I mean, you put Dame in the spots that Leonard was in, and they might win more championships
Mm.
because Dame, to me, is better. Yeah, you can say Leonard plays great defense, but Leonard's offense, outside of uh, when he went to the Raptors and you saw him explode, he was basically a complementary piece. But you got Dame who can knock it down from anywhere, who can score, who can pass the ball, who can do just about everything Leonard does, and what, probably 4 inches smaller. But at the end of the day, I would say you put Dame on the Raptors team, and that's going to happen. You put Dame on the Clippers, and that's probably going to happen. With the team that the Clippers had, it's probably going to happen. I don't see Dame not showing up. I don't see Dame not holding people accountable, and I don't see Dame not uplifting people.
Mm.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, as far as him uplifting people and him maybe knocking down shots, but Leonard's probably the best defensive player in the NBA, hands down. Like, you want to shut somebody down, you put him on there. And I don't see Leonard doing that, because the type of defense they play over there is is basically when Steve Nash was playing for the Sonic. I mean, not Sonic, but the Suns, and it's just like, hey, just get up as many shots as you can and score as many points as you can. Hopefully, we outscored it. Like, he don't play defense like that. But at the end of the day, we all know defense wins championships. You don't play good defense, good riddance. Because I'm thinking about, like, even from a football standpoint and basketball standpoint, what offense really like dominated and won a lot of championships. A lot of the times, the teams that won, they had a great defense, like the Pistons. That one year when they had both Wallace's and Chauncey Billups, like their defense was on point. Even with the Lakers, with Kobe and Shaq, they had a great defense. So at the end of the day, yes, and that's the thing. That's the reason why James Harden not winning because they don't play no defense. Like, you can score all day, but
They
you
had the
start,
best defense last year. They had the number one defense last year.
man. That's news to my ears. I couldn't tell. I definitely cannot tell.
I couldn't tell either. Nah, man, they made the mistake of getting rid of Clint Capella, um, who was 6'11", and I think that's what they were missing, was that big piece because
Hmm.
when you met up with the Lakers, bruh, you got 3 7 footers. Like, listen, you can, again, Dante, very few times that offense will just outright win. We could say Golden State first one was that because their defense wasn't quite up to par. But at the end of the day, when you're trading twos for threes, I mean, points don't add up. But what happened when they got KD? and they were just monsters at that point. I mean, because defensively, they had everything that they needed, and then it almost wasn't fair. But, you know, going in, we can kind of look at it and say, Dante, you are 100% correct on this one. For once, you're right. Seldom
I'm
will
always
offense
right.
win.
I'm always right.
And yeah, you can come at some, you can, huh?
I said I'm always right, even when I'm
I
wrong, right?
concede, I concede, sir. You're right. Nah, but yeah, it's for the most part defense. So I can understand you saying, you want Leonard because of his defense. Um, I just want to see a little bit more of consistency from Leonard and not just spot. And I'm not just talking, I'm talking about his all around game: defense, scoring, passing, rebounding. I want to see it because you're just as big as LeBron, just about.
Yeah.
You need to be playing that way, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
All
can
right.
run into it.
So next topic. So should so everybody's basically been probably if you are a football fan, you've been watching the NFL, you probably have seen the Eagles. Eagles, I believe they are 4-8 now. They have been they've been an embarrassment for the for the city of Philadelphia. And so last week, Carson Wentz got benched, and Jalen Hurts came in, and he didn't do that bad. And this Sunday, today, they played against um, the Saints. I'm sorry, the Saints. Sorry, Eric. The Saints. And they beat the Saints, which has been killing teams, even my Bucks, killing teams, even since Drew Brees have exited out because of broken ribs. They've been killing people. And so, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Should they have pulled them, even though I know they won today against the Saints? Should they have pulled them or left them in because they did have like two different people? I remember, I think it was Fletcher Cox, and I think it was a tight end that came out and said, you know, Carson Wentz should not lose his job. So, what are your thoughts?
One, those guys were wrong for doing that. Like,
But if
Creating division, man.
support the young pup. I don't know. I think privately, you can maybe say those things like if being leaders of the team. Privately, maybe you go to the head coach and you either voice or just explain your frustration with the decision or whatever to try to understand. But publicly, man, you got your young pup going in there as a quarterback for Philadelphia. Like, I think he needs as much support as he can get. I get being behind Carson Wentz. I get that. Just I think there's a different way they could have done that. Sorry,
so,
I at least wanted to say that.
let me ask you this question. So, you saying that there's no brotherly love in Philly,
Yeah.
but anyways, that's just a joke. But
Truth
so
be
in
told,
high school, who was your favorite quarterback to play in front of?
Like for our high school team,
Yes. Oh, don't put him on blast now.
nah, I ain't afraid to say it. Like because it would depend if we were passing the ball, I would have much rather but I can't remember his name. Not it wasn't Donnie.
Richardson.
Richardson. I would have rather Richardson because if it's a passing quarterback, it's a lot easier for me to protect him because I know where he is. If it's a running quarterback, I may not know because he may dip out and now the D lineman is seeing him. I'm not. So now I'm either now gonna hold because I don't know where the hell my quarterback just went, or like he's gonna get around me or something like that because he's seeing where the quarterback is, where I'm trying to keep myself between him and the quarterback. So I'd say that it's for passing. For running, it didn't really matter.
Okay, so your passing quarterback is stinking up the place. They put in the running quarterback because it's going to help, and but you prefer the passing quarterback, and it's a pass heavy offense. Are you not going to come out and say, "Man, I really want my quarterback," or are you going to sit back and chill?
I won't come out and say it. I'll go to the head coach and say it and try to understand the game plan because he had 100 yards rushing today. So obviously, I know not all of it was called runs, but obviously they ran a little bit different game plan for him than what they did for Carson Wentz. So it makes you think, could they have mixed it up for Carson Wentz? I know Carson ain't no blazer of it or anything like that, but are there things
Decent
they could have
speed.
could have done to help Carson Wentz? And then I think too, like, is it? I know game tape is so big in the NFL. Like, I know those defensive coaches, they are smart. So,
Yeah,
two, is it nobody just has any tape on them other than college?
yeah. I'll go
Mm,
second, Jarrell, and
yeah,
I'll let you go last.
go ahead.
Um, so what I'll say is, I think everybody seen the writing on the wall when you get rid of Nick Foles, and then you draft Jalen Hurts at second round.
Second round. Yeah.
And I think Carson Wentz knew, like, oh gosh, okay, listen,
Mm.
it's put up or shut up time, and you don't, and then you don't perform. So everybody on the team they should know, but I get it. You know, that's your quarterback. That's supposed to be the franchise quarterback, and I'm sure people would have did the same thing for Ben Roethlisberger if that was the case for him and he was stinking it up, and I'm sure somebody would have came out and spoke up. And so it is tough because you have more. I would say that I think that they spoke up against because they have more. They have a better relationship with him, and you know how it is when you're in the locker room, Jarrell, Fabe. You know, when you're in the locker room, you built relationships, and then you got new people come in that you really don't know, what they about. You seen this dude sweating, he giving his all, he's stinking, but he giving his all, he's working hard. But then again, too, I heard that even beforehand, people didn't really like Carson Wentz because they just felt like he wasn't a good leader and stuff like that. And everybody loved Nick Foles because he was a great leader. So I think that the organization, I think they tried to cover up a mistake by letting Nick Foles go and say, man, we better do something, otherwise we're going to lose this organization. Going from winning a Super Bowl, then going back to the playoffs. I mean, going back to the playoffs and losing, and then now you're looking at the state of the franchise. It's her team, and so I think that he should have seen the writing on the walls. The players should have seen the writing on the wall that this is supposed to be the franchise quarterback, and they drafted this guy at number 2. So good
Mm.
riddance. It's time for you to go, Carson Wentz. I'm sorry, man. Hey, just don't let the door now hit you. Get out before it closes. Move on, get your stuff. Like you said, when they drafted him in the second round, he should have had his stuff in his car in his trunk. So when they gave to him, he wouldn't even need to clean nothing out of the locker room. But I'm being very harsh right now. But I kind of had a feeling, especially the way that things were going. And when they drafted him, I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to be too much longer. But he had plenty of opportunities. He just can't stay healthy, and now he is healthy. He just can't get it done. So,
I think
yeah.
Carson, this might be harsh. Carson
Mm.
might lack mental toughness.
Mm. I don't watch the Eagles enough to see that.
Listen,
I'll be real here. The Eagles should have made this move a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
And no disrespect to Carson Wentz. Um, Audience of one, love it. Um, at the end of the day, the team that the Eagles have right now fits
Mm.
Jalen Hurts. The line can't block. They can't hold a block. You can't have guys sitting back there as a statue behind that line. Um, you have receivers who aren't necessarily proven. So you have a lack of weapons and you have a line that is subpar. So think about the Ravens. The Ravens input Jackson, who can cover up for some of those mistakes that the line may make. And now life is a little bit easier. Little bit easier. Dante, to your point about the film, you're right. They may not have film, or Faith, you might have said it. They may not have film on him yet, but at the end of the day, when it comes to what's best for my team, and if I'm possibly have a chance for a playoff, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I don't like that players came out and said something one way or the other. Um, it's just crazy to think that there were people like Dante said that came out when they let Nick Foles go and said that they wanted Nick Foles over him because he didn't bring guys together. He didn't do any of that. Now, to his point, he took ownership over it and said there's stuff that he could have done better. But at the end of the
Mm.
day, listen, the name of the game is winning games, and whoever gives me the best opportunity. Now I'm going to tell you that this is not Jalen Hurts' job, and if it is Jalen Hurts' job, I'd be shocked and say that it might be the dumbest decision because the cap hit Carson Wentz would take with him if he left, and I can't remember. I think I like to say it's like 30 some. I can't remember the exact amount that he had. I'll have to look it up before we finally finish the show. But the the cap hit for him would be absolutely ridiculous. And if I'm an NFL franchise, I don't know if I want to do that. Now, what I can do is try to get a better line around him because regardless of whether I got to replace Wentz next year uh, at some point or Jalen's my guy, you're going to benefit from having a better line. And it's time to build now while you can, because if you get Jalen hurt, you're probably going to be dealing with another Wentz situation. Because remember, Wentz was a lot more mobile before he got hurt. And
True.
if he tore his ACL during his MVP type season, diving into the
Mhm.
end zone to score a touchdown. So, all that to say, I like what the Eagles did. They said, I got to win right now. And that's what I want to see.
Good. On you, Fabe.
All right, guys. So this is the last segment of the show. In this segment, we take your guys' questions, comments, feedback, whatever you got, and we give you guys our deep thoughts. So if you guys got anything you want us to answer, go ahead and throw it in chat, and I'll read it out. So we got some hellos. We got a Mr. Marcus White in chat. What's going on?
Oh,
Thank you for
snap.
showing up. Appreciate you, man. Derek letting me know that my volume was too low. So appreciate you, Derek, on that. Anybody else got any questions or comments? So here I got something for you guys. I need to know. I didn't hear or see anything about the Cowboys. What the Cowboys do this week?
The cow.
Cowboys beat the Bengals.
Hey, they know how to beat
Man,
They
that
somebody.
ain't saying
They
they
nothing.
know how to beat
they
somebody.
did what they were supposed to do. They won. And just to let all the viewers know, um, per Bleacher Report, the team would have 59.2 million in dead cap if he's released after this season. 59.2 million in dead cap money. Can't
They
do
ain't
it.
gonna do it. Yeah,
Can't do
they're
it.
not gonna do it.
Can't do it.
But now that's what's messed up. Is like you open yourself up to this because now if Jalen Hurts balls, now you got another situation, and now you're gonna be paying him a lot of money to sit on the bench. So I don't know.
Riding the pine.
I don't know
Hey,
how. I don't know, man. That's rough.
listen,
Hey,
man. At the end of the day, you play to win the game. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. Until you can get his butt out of there.
it's
Otherwise, you just
cheaper
gonna
to
be
keep him.
getting.
It's
I
cheaper
about
to
to say.
keep him.
Otherwise, you just gonna be getting first round draft pick every year.
It's like, and it's crazy because if the team was doing decent, they'd be dominating. They'd be dominating that division right now. They would absolutely be dominating because it's up for the
Nobody
grabs. Like,
that division right now, nobody wants to win. They like, here you win. No, you win. Here you
Hey,
win. Nah, you win.
eh,
We don't deserve it. We
bruh,
don't either.
the division is not what everybody thinks it is. Not, I mean, listen. You got the Saints that just got beat by Philadelphia. Last week, you had the Seahawks that just got beat by the Giants. And then you just had Washington. I mean, listen, in overall, you can say the beginning of the year, that division was, listen, they was garbage. You could call them the NFC least. You could say whatever. But since, I mean, you're talking about three teams that have beaten some pretty good teams and are on a roll. So we'll see how it plays out. But the Giants, I'm going to cast them out. I think they had a fluke win, Colt McCoy. But in all honesty,
You,
Philadelphia's
you, you,
defense has been balling all year. All year they've been balling.
you
Now
know what those
Washington has been balling.
I was gonna say, Joel, you know what those wins remind me of? You remember when we would be playing college and we put those cupcake teams because we just got to get that win, and you simulate it, and then the next week you how how did I lose to them? How, that's what that is. It's nah. That conference is trash. As my boy Marcus would say, it's trash can juice. They don't get no worse than that.
Philadelphia has been in, I would say, just about every game. So just going down. I know we coming out. Um, the Rams they got beat by. They Philadelphia tied the Bengals. They lost 25-20 to the Niners. They lost 29-38 to the Steelers. 28-30 to the Ravens. 22, well, they beat the Giants, the Cowboys. They lost to the Giants 17-27. They lost to the Browns 17-22. Packers 16-30. That's probably their biggest loss. And then they lost to the Seahawks 17-23. They were in them games. So now again, I don't know if Jalen would be doing what he's doing now the more they got film, but if you had a guy that was in there giving you what he gave you, I'm not saying they win them all, but let's give them 3 more wins. Now you're talking about a 7-win team.
Yeah, I
Now you're
mean,
talking about,
so, I
so
mean,
with them,
listen,
I'm I'm there.
one of those teams have to make it to the playoffs, and when they make it to the playoffs, good lord, somebody gonna put a beating on them, and it's just gonna be ugly. Because I
Hey, listen, I want to see them
you
Bucks. I'm trying to see them Bucks.
oh yeah, Super Bowl.
No, let them play Philadelphia or Washington. They going
Oh man,
home.
no, you silly. You
Hey, hey,
silly.
hey, Dante. I already said it earlier. Them bags packed in the car. Tom Brady better pack them. Go back to New England. Already got them packed.
You right. You know why he got him packed already? He just going across the street to the hotel. That's all. He home already. But before we get off this day, I just wanted to do a shout out to my boy Marcus. He's been having a tough time on man, been getting whooped real bad. So, man, please in the comment section give this man some tips, so he can come back out next week and do some work. But yeah, go ahead, Fave, on you, bro.
All right, guys. If nobody's got any other comments, questions, or anything, we gonna head out of here. You guys got any final thoughts, or at least you, Jarrell? We see Dante gave his.
Nope.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the 20th episode of the Deep Third Sports Podcast. Make sure you guys like, follow, and hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell so you guys get notified when we go live as we're coming at you guys every week on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all again. And finally, Dante said, LeBron is the greatest.